pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Excuse me.
This meeting complies with the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice of this meeting was published on the municipal bulletin board, municipal website, and as required by law.
Thank you. Roll call, please, Kathleen.
Mr. Hyman? Mr. Martins?
Here.
Ms. Rosal?
Here.
Mr. Tremor?
Here.
Ms. Cusano?
Here.
Mr. Seleckia?
Here.
Dr. Hofstein?
Here.
Ms. Bradley?
Here. You have resolutions this evening, Ms. Cipriani?
We do. We do, and I thank the board and I thank Dawn for getting these together or getting them on the agenda as quickly. So the first one is Resolution 2026-05. It's granting a sign variance approval for properties known as Lot 63 and Block 5601. This is the High Lifeline application, which we heard several months ago, and all of the conditions that were placed on the record are incorporated into the resolution.
Okay, we need a motion and a second, please.
Make a motion?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Hyman?
Yes.
Mr. Martins?
Yes.
Ms. Rosal?
Yes.
Dr. Hofstein?
Yes.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
I'll put that there so it can be signed. Then our next resolution is 2026-06, granting a variance for the property located at 24 Chiswick Court, Block 5304, Lot 9. This was the bulk variance to permit construction of a second-story rear deck on property located at 24 Chiswick Court. Chiswick, you decide. And again, once again, the conditions placed on the record were incorporated into the resolution.
We need a motion and a second, please.
Motion?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Hyman?
Yes.
Mr. Martins?
Yes.
Ms. Rosal?
Yes.
Mr. Tremor?
Yes.
Ms. Cusano? Dr. Hofstein?
Yes.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Okay, next is 2026-07. It's a resolution memorializing the granting of a use variance for 51 Progress Place. This was the application that came in for the mobile concrete batch plant. That was recent. I believe you will recall that. And there was also the conditions that were placed on the record were incorporated into the resolution.
Motion is second, and I'd just like to say thank you to Dawn and to Kathleen for getting this stuff done so quickly. That's awesome.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Hyman?
Yes.
Mr. Martins?
Yes.
Ms. Rosal?
Yes.
Mr. Tremor?
Yes.
Ms. Cusano?
Yes.
Mr. Seleckia?
Yes.
Dr. Hofstein?
Yes, and I just wanted to say one thing about this. Outdid itself on writing this resolution, and it everybody about discussing and deciding.
Thank you, and I certainly thank the applicant's attorney as well for their assistance with the form of the resolution, and I'll try and stick with that one since it was found to be helpful. Resolution 2026-08, which is the approval of use variance and bulk variances for the construction uses of a metal pole barn for property located at Block 2603, lots 8, 9, 10, 15, 16, and 17. This was Jerry's Auto Body. And once again, we had a lot of testimony and conditions, and those are incorporated into the resolution.
Second, please.
Motion?
Roll call, please.
Mr. Hyman?
Yes.
Mr. Martins?
Yes.
Ms. Rosal?
Yes.
Mr. Tremor?
Yes.
Ms. Cusano?
Yes.
Mr. Seleckia?
Yes.
Dr. Hofstein? Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
I should also place on the record, this Mr. Hyman is ill and could not be physically present. He is participating through the Miracle of Anthony and Zoom, and so it is a virtual meeting. He is able to hear and hopefully can be heard by all. And that's all the resolutions.
So we have approval of minutes dated 2/4/26, 2/18/26, 3/4. No, the 3/4 meeting was canceled, excuse me. 2/4/26 and 2/18/26. We need a motion and a second, please. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hyman?
Yes.
Mr. Martins?
Yes.
Ms. Rosal?
Yes.
Mr. Tremor?
Yes.
Ms. Cusano? Mr. Slekia? Dr. Hofstein? And Ms. Bradley, it says
Yes
no
for
for,
2/18, no
Okay.
for 2/4. I was not
you're
here.
unable, right.
Thank you. Okay, and I have two vouchers this evening, although I'm sorry, we're tabling the one from 3/4 so we can get clarification. I have a voucher for this evening from Jackson Township for the recording secretary. For tonight's meeting, I need a motion and a second to pay the voucher, please.
Motion. Second.
Mr. Hyman?
Yes.
Mr. Martins?
Yes.
Ms. Rosal?
Yes.
Mr. Tremor?
Yes.
Ms. Cusano? Mr. Slekia?
Yes.
Dr. Hofstein? Ms. Bradley?
Yes. Announcement this evening, Annie?
In a rare moment, we have no announcements.
I think we do have one.
No.
Just
yeah.
kidding.
I don't think it got you. The meeting for April 1st is canceled.
Oh. Oh, I did not receive that. Yes, there's your
Yes.
announcement. April 1st is canceled.
April 1st is canceled.
You're serious?
That's a good one to
Not a
cancel.
joke.
April
April
1st
Fool's.
meeting
yeah.
is canceled.
And I'd like to put on the record down and advise the board that the meeting of, is it April 15th, I will be in Italy. So Robin will be here. She'll be prepared, but I just want to let you know. And I'm sorry, I tried to arrange it so I missed as few meetings as possible, but since it's 2 weeks in Italy, I have to miss something.
That's a shame.
I know it was
You could,
heartbreaking
you
for
could
me.
miss Italy. You have to miss something. You could miss Italy.
I couldn't.
All right, I do believe we are going to go into executive session, so
A resolution of the Zoning Board of Adjustment of the Township of Jackson, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, to enter into executive session as authorized by the Open Public Meetings Act for discussion of personnel matters, specifically traffic engineer, and anticipated litigation from Garden View Homes regarding the checklist. And action may be taken following the executive session.
a motion and a second to.
Second.
I don't anticipate that it would be longer than 15 minutes, 20 at the outside, but we'll see.
Back to order.
I'd just like to note for the record that since we have a full board up here tonight, Mr. Hyman has dropped off. And I'd just like to also put in the record that I will follow the direction.
Okay, so that covered our executive session and our matters for discussion.
Oh, really? It's great.
So,
Can you hear me?
yes.
Well, you guys.
Hello? Hello? Yep.
Make sure it's not the hard way.
Yeah, I don't, I mean, I think I can speak loudly enough to be heard, but this is not.
Hear her, sir? Okay. And then we have I'm sorry?
You need a motion to return?
No, we do not need a motion.
And
Executive session is a subset.
I have two quick things for discussion. One, another letter to the, and to find a ninth member for the board. It's been almost a year since we haven't had a new member approved. And the other would be that we should insist that the applicant be at that we have where his application or her application is being heard. Otherwise, the decisions can't be made. And if the applicant can't be here, then you should appoint somebody who can make decisions in his place and let us have a letter stating that.
All right, so that covers our matters for discussion for this evening. I don't believe we have any administrative approvals. So we're going to move on to applicant number 1, Powerhouse Signs LLC, Ulta Beauty Signs Variance 3548.
Good evening, members of the board. I'm Jeffrey Donner. I represent the applicant Powerhouse Signs. We have an application where we're seeking to erect some signs at the Ulta Beauty unit at the Jackson Mall. And we need 2 variances, as I understand it. We're seeking 2 signs where 1 would normally be allowed and permitted. And we're seeking signs that are slightly larger than the 80 square foot maximum. We have 2 signs that each one of them is conforming, but together the signs come up to 113.32 square feet, which is in excess of the 80 square feet. So I have here to present tonight my client, Ryan Johnson, who's the principal of Powerhouse Signs. And we'll have him testify first, followed by our planner, Barbara Allen. And Mr. Johnson will go over what the signs are and why he felt that it's important to ask for these signs in the current size and in the current locations.
Thank you, Mr. Donner, and just,
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was going to say, forgive me, sir. I allowed you to start speaking, but in my haste to get back, since we took so long, I forgot to have the professionals sweared in. So let's get
I'm
them
sorry.
sworn in and we'll get started. I do apologize.
do you swear or affirm that the testimony you'll give before this board will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and position for the record.
Mark Romeyer, Board Engineer.
Ernie Peters, Board Planner.
Gina Tumalo, Zoning Officer.
And while I'm swearing people in, good, is it right? Oh. All right, 2 for the price of 1. Do you, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you'll give before this board will be the truth and nothing but the truth? And could you each state your name and position on this matter for the record?
Microphone for me, please.
Brian Johnson, the owner of Powerhouse Signs.
Barbara Allen, EHLEN, licensed professional planner.
Thank you.
Thank you for seeing us tonight. Appreciate it. Is there the ability to have?
Anthony's going to get that
Oh,
out.
great. Thank you.
I believe you've been here before, you know the acoustics aren't great, so if you could just speak as loudly as possible into the microphone, that would be
Absolutely.
great.
So let me ask Mr. Johnson, number one, are you in fact the principal of Powerhouse Signs?
Yes, sir.
And are you the individual responsible for the design of the signs that are the subject of tonight's application?
I am representing Ulta. Atlas Sign Industries, the one who actually made the plans, but yes, I'm here to represent Ulta and the signage.
Okay, can you give us an overview of the signs that we're seeking to have approved tonight?
More or less, the sign, it would be a second sign that would be above the facade on the roof in front of a vent, supported by mansard brackets. And it would be the second sign that this location would have.
Okay. Now, we're looking for two signs instead of the one sign that's normally permitted. First of all, do you have any understanding as to the size of the premises that Ulta is seeking to occupy at Jackson Mall?
Donna, if you could just hold that a little closer, it's hard to hear you with this going behind me.
I'm sorry. Is that better now?
Yes.
Okay. Could you comment on the premises that Ulta is occupying at Jackson Mills in terms of its size?
Yes, the size is, in terms of the size, like the
In other
overall
words,
dimensions.
how
are you
many
asking?
units it's actually occupying?
Oh, yes. So Ulta has taken over 2 units at the Jackson Mall. It's unit 104 and 106 from what we have here. And the initial sign is actually over the storefront doors where the customers enter.
Okay. Now, if in fact Ulta was not occupying 2 premises and making one out of it, would there be another tenant in the other premise?
Yes.
And so there would normally be, if the premises were occupied by separate tenants, there would be 2 signs for this area. Is that true?
Yes, yeah, if it was separated.
Okay,
yes.
but understanding it's one premise and we're not fighting the fact that only one sign is permitted, but do you have any insight as to why it's so important due to the arrangement of this particular property to have 2 signs?
Well, how this property is structured, it's a little harder to see than on the plan, but there is a existing or pre-existing photo prior to any of Ulta's construction there, and the front doors where the customers enter is actually set back relatively far compared to the structure canopy on the left side. So it's kind of inhibiting the visibility from the main entrance.
Now, is there a pylon sign at the center outside listing what tenants are available in the center?
No, not at this one.
So is the only way to identify individual premises by the signs that are above those premises entrance places?
That is correct.
Okay. Now, this is not the first set of signs that you put into this mall, is that correct?
No, it's not. We also did the Skechers.
Okay. And were you acquainted prior to doing the Skechers sign with any difficulties that customers of the center were having in identifying individual premises?
Yeah, we just wanted to really make sure that traffic was flowing properly throughout the center, that it wasn't causing any delays or traffic jams or, God forbid, a possible accident that could further create hardships for the shopping center itself.
So are you saying that by having 2 signs in the designs that you are proposing, you feel that will make it easier for this premises to be identified by customers seeking it?
Yes, the sign we're seeking is the large orange circle above the awning, and that portion of the wall actually sticks out a lot further than where the sign we have now is.
Now, are there any details regarding the signs that you want to erect that are shown in exhibits that you've given to the board?
Yeah, I think if we go to the next page. So that's the details of the sign. It's manufactured out of aluminum. The faces on it are acrylic, and the lighting inside of it is LED illumination. The brackets to hold it onto onto the roof would be steel.
Now, the planner report talks about the fact that a set of plans that have been prepared should be signed and sealed. Can you get signed and sealed plans?
Yes, we currently have them because I know you guys require hard copies. So we do have hard copies of those ready to submit.
The planner report also says that the signs plans do not include details of the fascia sign, the under canopy sign, and the awnings. Details should be proposed for all signage. Can you explain what details are being shown and if there are any additional details that you will provide them?
Yes, I don't think they have them here, but we definitely have, those were permitted and approved prior to us submitting for this variance, the original sign and the awnings.
Okay. Did you submit to this? Is there anything on the submissions you made that show additional detail beyond what this is?
I think if you go back to the last page, it doesn't show the details, but it does show the actual height and width of the sign.
Okay. Well, can you explain what are the details of the signs that you're proposing to erect? Can you explain that for us?
Yeah, like
Start with the round sign on the mansard and then the Ultimate Beauty sign above the entrance doorway. Are there any specifics that you can give the board to better educate them as to what you're proposing here?
just how they're built. Is that what you're asking me?
Right, right.
Yeah, I mean, they're both the signs are fabricated with aluminum and with faces that are made of acrylic. The illumination of both of these are LED. They're controlled by a timer that turns off when the store closes. And like I said, the mansard brackets for the proposed sign over the awning would be made out of steel.
Okay. I believe I've completed my questioning of Mr. Johnson. I'll make him available to the board.
Any questions, Mr. Johnson? Mark?
Thank you. So I've reviewed the application, and there is a ordinance section for the sign requirements. And in the letter, it states you've complied with the majority of those requirements. I'll just go through that quickly. For example, you've stated the sign will be structurally sound, made with proper brackets. And can you just confirm, should the zoning board approve your application tonight, you would then still go through the building department for permits and inspection? Is that
Yes,
accurate?
that's correct.
Okay. Regarding illumination, you stated they're internally lit and they will turn off when the businesses are closed based off a timer?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, there's limits on the number of colors on a sign, which you comply with. And the sign is relating to the business. So that's what the majority of the ordinance has, those parameters, and most of them are being met. The ones that aren't being met is, for example, the number of signs or the total area of signs. Is that accurate?
Correct. Yeah, each individual sign does conform, but together they are over the max of the 80 square foot.
And how does this compare to other signs in the same plaza?
It seems that there is, other tenants that have a similar amount of square footage. I'll leave that up to my planner maybe to talk about.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pierce?
Thank you, Madam Chair. You had testified that having two signs would somehow make the traffic circulation safer. I assume you've done work in the mall before?
Correct.
Do you have any idea how old the mall is?
No, I do not.
Okay. Do you have any idea how many tenants take up more than one unit and have applied for a variance for more than one sign?
I don't know the exact number. No.
Counselor, I'm taking a little bit of exception with his testimony that putting two signs up is safer somehow without any foundation. Okay?
Can I explain
The
my
mall's been there
argument
for
to it?
45 years. It was designed, it was approved, coming in and telling me it's safer because I'm putting more signs than are required up.
Well, if I could explain it for a moment. I think the testimony from Mr. Johnson is that there's been a noted difficulty by some consumers in trying to find the premises that they're looking for, because the only direction and identification are these signs. This particular premise, it's located in the far left-hand side of the shopping center. And the theory here is if people cannot see these signs easily, they're going to be driving around the center looking at signs or for signs they hope to see, and perhaps not looking at pedestrians and traffic and other things they should be made more aware of.
Fair
So
enough.
we do feel it's a safety argument.
Respectfully, the mall's been there
I'm
for
not an
40
expert on
The
that.
mall's been there for 45 years, and I don't know that anyone's come to the town and said it's unsafe. So again, your testimony is that they've heard from customers. I've been involved in town since 1985, and I've been involved in different capacities for the municipality, and I'm not sure I've heard that concern.
Well, I think Mr. Johnson testified to the fact that in the Skechers application, which was approved by the board, that Skechers informed him that they needed these signs because their customers were having difficulty in finding them.
And I think
So-
Skechers was different. It was at a corner. Two-
Skechers
corner of
was
two drive aisles.
also not in the same part of the center, but on the other side, somewhat concealed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Hello?
Really nothing more to add. Just wanted to circle back at the point that was made earlier that if the tenant, being Ulta, did not occupy two tenant spaces as one store, then the two signs would be normally permitted as they would be separate businesses, ideally. So their request is not really more intensive than if it were two separate businesses versus Ulta taking over two tenant spaces.
So I get the point that you occupy two businesses, so you want to have two signs. My question, though, is where you're putting the sign over the awning, it looks like another tenant owns half or rents half of that space. Is that accurate?
Over the awning?
Yes.
I don't think so.
So your sign would be, well, I'm looking at the way this is presented here. It's an adjacent tenant, goes up to the middle of almost past 503, that sign, and your Ulta sign is above it. Looks like you are putting some of this sign in the area where the fireworks store is. I was out there today, so I kind of know the stores that are there. And it confused me when I was there, so I'm trying to look at it now. So it almost looks like the sign is not covering both units that you have. It's actually expanding over into another tenant space. Now, I know you have a letter that says, owner of the whole complex, that says you can go ahead with the signs. So my assumption, or can you tell me, did they get approval from the other tenant to allow you to put up a sign so that in 6 months, we're not going to have another tenant who wants to put a sign above yours for the same reason?
Gotcha. At this time, we do not have approval from another tenant to put a sign up, but like you said, we do have one from the mall.
May I just ask a follow-up question of this witness directly to your question, sir? Has the landlord and owner of the premises, of the whole center, approved the location and details of the sign?
Yes.
Okay, I would submit that this is something I know something about. I've done a lot of leasing in shopping centers and whatever. And normally, the landlord has to get permissions from tenants if it is an issue. So if the landlord has approved this location and this design, it means that we do have the right to do it.
And I agree with, that's why I said, I saw the letter that says you can move forward with the signs. So I assume, but my question still comes into play, and maybe Mr. Peters and Mr. Romar can give me a better feel for my question, is the fact that the sign is now over another tenant's space, is it really two signs for one applicant? Not like they're putting, it's not like they're putting the two signs over both of the doorways where the location of this building, the store is. It's now going over, I would say half of it is going to be over where the fireworks store is.
Just so I can understand, you're talking to the left side of the
Yes.
orange canopy?
Yep. Mhm.
So around that, because it
No,
looks like,
so if you look at the canopy, okay, so where the canopy is, where the orange sign is that they're putting up, if you, and you can look on their hard cut, their documents here, if you continue on down, it says adjacent tenant. It looks like it's going all the way into the dark black line. Yeah, but once I go on the paper, it disappears. So if you read this here, where my sign is, it says adjacent tenant. Okay, see, my eyes are not that good. And it goes all the way to this dark line, which if you take it up, tells me that half of that sign, at least half of that sign, is basically over this store's area. My question is that something that is a concern for us? Board.
So what you're saying appears to be accurate based off the detail. It appears a portion of the adjacent business is under that proposed sign. But I would say not every business has this triangular shaped roof in front of their store.
Well, it's
So-
actually, yeah. Store goes
Oh,
and then
yeah.
it comes out. So it's an L shape that comes out from what they cover
Yeah.
basically the two sections over. And I can tell, I think the way the sign is, it's on the left side of the
Yeah.
store that you have, that it is today. And there's a big gap, so I'm assuming you're gonna move it over.
And the Ulta Beauty appears to have a dimension of 67 feet, 7-inch width of storefront. And the adjacent tenant, it's showing 17 feet under the proposed sign. So a portion, like you said, that is accurate. A portion of the adjacent tenant would be under that sign.
Excuse me, does the fireworks store currently have a sign? I did not get out there, obviously, so I'm asking you. Based on this, I did see that note, but since I was not there myself, does the fireworks store have a sign? Okay.
I know it was a fireworks store because I looked. There was a sign in the window that said fireworks. Because of the way it's designed, I didn't see if they had a sign on the other side of it. Yeah. They cover a portion to the left and right behind it. I think so.
At the landlord of the mall provided an approval letter, what does that do for us as a zoning board?
Well, it certainly gives you the ability to approve because the responsibility to ensure that the tenants are treated fairly, if you will, falls on the property owner and not on the board. So since there's been a statement from the property owner acceding to the Ulta sign, any problem that the fireworks store or any future tenant would have with the fact that the Ulta sign is there would be something that they would have to take up with the property owner. It doesn't provide anything against the board. is board seeking, the protection for the fireworks store is supposed to be through the property owner.
And I will tell you, the reason I'm bringing it up is for that exact reason, is just to clarify, because I do see the letter, although it doesn't specifically state that they know it's going over onto the other side. You know, if you feel comfortable that we're okay,
Yeah.
that's,
I
I'm okay with
right.
that
So,
response.
certainly, it would be nice to think that somebody, the property owner or somebody else had spoken to the fireworks store, but the responsibility for ensuring that does not fall on this board. We have legally sufficient proofs on permission.
Thank you.
If sign has to be changed because a future store runs a store, would they have to come back to the board to change the sign?
Yes.
Excuse me, any additional questions for Mr. Johnson?
I do have another witness. I guess there's nobody in the public that wants to question. Any questions from the
I
public?
didn't know if you were going to call your other witness and then do it, but we can open it to the public now.
Yeah,
Anyone
let's do it for a
wishing-
witness.
Anyone wishing to come forward and make any comments about what they've heard this evening, please do so at this time. Seeing no one come forward, we're going to go ahead and close public session. You can proceed.
Okay, I'd like to call Barbara Allen, our professional planner.
Thank you, guys.
I believe that Ms. Allen has been qualified before this board previously as a professional planner. We can give her credentials if the board prefers them.
She's been sworn in.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, would you like to have her put some credentials on record?
Credentials on the record,
We may
that's
have
fine.
new board members. It's,
I would love to. So my name is Barbara Allen. I'm a licensed professional planner. In
can't hear you at all. Oof.
All right, my name is Barbara Allen. I'm a licensed professional planner in the state of New Jersey and an AICP. I'm a principal at Beacon Planning and Consulting Services, LLC. I've had my license for over 10 years and it is good standing. I currently serve as the board planner for the Borough of Freehold and the Township of Livingston, and I've been accepted throughout the state of New Jersey.
All right, and this board accepts your credentials. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Allen, have you visited this site and are you aware of the signs that we are proposing to construct there?
I am.
Okay. And in your capacity as a planner, could you analyze the basis that you see for the variances that we're seeking? One variance being that we're seeking two signs where only one would normally be permitted, and the other variance being overall square footage. Each of the two signs we're seeking are conforming, but together they exceed the 80 square feet normally allowed.
I would love to. I'm sorry, what is the gentleman's name?
Anthony.
Anthony. May I have the exhibit marked aerial? So this is an aerial prepared by myself. It is of the subject property and the proposed tenant space is outlined in yellow, the yellow circle. And what I just wanted to point out from this aerial is actually if you could see the internal circulation road as it curves around to where this site is. And you can also see at this particular location where the yellow circle is, that the building itself steps in. So if I can, Anthony, if I can have Alta photo number 1. Alta 1, I think. Now I have to remember what I named all the photos. So this is actually the angle that you were just speaking about. And it was funny when you were saying this, it's like, I think I have a photo. But in this angle, the other Ulta Beauty sign along the front facade is actually already installed. But as you can see, while you're driving in, you can't see it because of the angle of the building. It is kind of tucked behind where this building steps in. So, and Anthony, if I could have Alta 2? So this kind of gives a better depth perception of what's actually out there and what it's looking like, and how how the signs, how one sign is kind of hidden behind the other when you're coming around that drive as the building steps in. So the applicant is seeking 2 signs. It does occupy 2 spaces, and this is not necessarily unique within the shopping center itself. Anthony, again, can I have Under Armour?
Can I just ask one thing on the photos? Were these also sent to Dawn? Are they?
I did not,
Online or not?
I remembered to put them on a thumb drive. I did not send them ahead of time, but I will make sure to email them in.
Okay, thank you.
This is an Under Armour that has a similar configuration, where one part of it is extended forward and one is set back. And it also has 2 signs to take advantage of that and to allow it to be seen from along the drive. And Anthony, I promise I only have 2 more. If I could have food court. So here you can see a similar setup with a sign up where it is mounted, and multiple signs, for different uses, but still that kind of configuration. And finally, Anthony, if I could have Hillfinger. Again, a similar configuration where 2 signs are existing at a place where the building does have these step backs, just because it does aid in identifying the space, as these signs can kind of get tucked behind the building itself when driving along the circulation aisle.
Microphone for me. I can't even hear you. believe it or
Sorry,
not.
yeah, I didn't have it on. My apologies. But you're proposing to put it above on the awning, right?
Yes, we are.
Do you have any, and maybe I missed it, do you have any pictures where that's the situation?
That would
Unlike
be
this, which is
the
below.
food court.
The
photo.
food court.
Yeah, had the sign
That's
up.
the only one, right?
True.
Yeah, right. That's a little, okay,
I will say
Yeah.
it is permitted by the property owner,
right.
and there was no mention of it not being permitted per ordinance.
Right.
I
Okay.
also note that the nature of the Alta sign is more of a circle.
Yep.
So something like the Tommy Hilfiger, where it was square, could more easily fit in to that area,
Mhm.
whereas the Alta, their brand, and obviously it's a national brand, has more of a circle that would
Yeah.
not necessarily
Yeah.
fit into that space.
I got you.
Uh-huh.
Thanks.
I have a question before you go on. Anthony, can you go back to Alta 2? So as Mr. Martin said, or Alta 2. So the 2 awnings there, was that put in by the landlord or is that put in by one of the businesses?
I believe it was testified to that those were installed, but they were permitted, and they had permits for them, for
Who
the
did-
Alta,
But who did it?
for the Alta tenant.
So, and you want to put the sign where
Where that vent is.
so is that vent there for any particular reason?
I'm not sure, sometimes the vents are included for decorative purposes. This is a little cupola,
That's why I'm asking the question.
and it's not, there's still space between the sign and the vent itself. I believe it's like,
So in
5
essence,
inches.
you could remove the awning and put the sign on the facade of the building like all the other businesses that have asked for second signs.
Closely at the awning, see how the building is up under.
Well,
it?
I can't, yeah,
and as I discussed, the Alta sign is more of a round sign, where a lot of those other signs were more rectangular or like logos that were straight across.
so do we know the size of the sign compared to what's available underneath the awning?
I do not know.
Again, the
Well,
reason I'm
sign
asking
builds.
is, this is putting a unique situation into the shopping center now.
Mhm. I did ask the.
Questions become, for me, the questions are there alternatives that can achieve the same goal?
I understand.
So that's why I'm asking these questions.
I understand.
They tell me there's no, and I go with it. Yeah, but I don't have the,
So I did speak to the applicant, and he said that the requested sign for Alta would not be able to fit in that area of the facade just because of its shape.
Says the Alta sign is 5 feet.
It's 46.14 square feet.
5 feet at the highest point.
Mhm.
And it looks like this is showing, yes, the facade underneath the awning, more of a curved area, not flat. But I can't tell from the picture much of that curve is, how high up that curve goes.
If we
Because this
went,
is saying it's 5 foot 9 inches.
Anthony, if we went to the second page of the plans. And in the bottom right-hand corner, you can actually see the canopy, and you can see that there's a curved arch in that bottom right photo. Yeah, I know,
Are my glasses?
I was hoping, thank you. So you can see it's more of an arched.
Can I just piggyback off of you? Okay, sorry. Again, the height of the Alta sign, was it 5 something we said, right?
Mhm.
5 feet, right? Let's say it's 5 feet. You brought up the photos, not me, so I'm gonna go back.
Yes.
That photo with the square sign, right?
Mhm.
How high is that photo? How high is that sign? Sorry. Even though it's square, how high is it?
I don't know the answer to that.
Right, it's probably not 5 feet.
It's probably not 5 feet.
Right, and the reason I point that out is that the fact that it's round, I don't know how that plays a factor. It's the highest point where it's round, how high that is the factor. So you could make that sign still round, but you could make it smaller so it's not 5 feet, right?
Well, it also just plays into like the readability of the sign.
Sorry, the
And
what?
It plays into the readability of the sign because when it's round and you're shrinking it,
Yeah,
when you're taking down the height, you're actually taking this down. It's like a weird,
yeah, I get it. In theory, the same thing happens whether it's square, right? If I'm taking it down, everything kind of shrinks. Anyway, because I'm just not buying it. The reason to do it is because it's round. Sorry.
Okay.
Because
understand.
the height, it's really about the highest point, whether it's round or square, does it fit into that area? But, okay, thank you. I understand.
Is the awning there because there's no sign yet, or is that there while they're tenants? The yellow and the orange awnings from the pictures that you showed?
I believe the orange awnings were installed as part of the Alta tenant.
So
uh,
it's
fit
there
out.
while they're tenants. It's not there because they don't have a sign just for visibility?
All right, Ms. Allen has not yet addressed the planning justifications for the variances that we are seeking. So I'm going to ask her to do that now with the board's permission.
Okay, before she goes that, Mr. Tremor, I have a question for you. Should the fire company be looking at this because of that vent? We're good.
Okay. May I proceed? Ms. Allen, can you give us an analysis from your standpoint as a planner as to what the zoning justifications for these variances would be?
Love to.
Please.
So in this instance, I do like to look through your master plan before I dig into the ordinances. I do know.
I'm sorry, I really can't.
It just, I feel like I have an echo when I get so close.
I'm sorry. It's much better for us, but I'm sorry it's bad for you.
Okay. So I always like to look at the community's master plan, and I note that the community does, want to focus in on its business and reinforce those areas to support both regional and local needs. Under the general recommendations of the land use element, it does recommend that the township review its sign standards, as the most recent regulations were adopted in or before 2004, and recommends that they be updated to consider lighting, signs, dimensions, and more graphic-based requirements. So the township does seek to promote its businesses, and it does have a recommendation to look at its sign requirements. With respect to the variances sought, I would opine that there is an element of C1 just because of the limited visibility of the Ulta tenant when you're coming in through that drive aisle on both directions. So when you're going into the site, the pergola or the cupola area blocks the facade sign associated that is currently existing with the Ulta. And when you're coming the other way through, as that projects out, you would not be able to see it. You would just see the facade sign for the Ulta. As was previously tested to, the applicant is occupying 2 tenant spaces, and were there to be separate tenants, each tenant would be permitted a sign of 80 square feet. And the applicant is proposing 2 signs that do exceed the 80 square feet, but not the necessarily 160 square feet that would be anticipated if there were 2 tenants. The total sign area, I believe, is approximately 113.32 square feet. Additionally, this type of sign configuration, as was shown in the photos, is not uncommon within the shopping center. When the building does step back, we've seen multiple examples of signs, a tenant containing 2 signs. Additionally, tenants at corner locations tend to have signs along both sides of the facade, and I've seen more than one side per facade, just again to ease and to aid in identifying the use within the shopping center itself. It is rather a large center, and the building itself is a rather large U. So to being able to identify it both on the drive aisles when you're driving past it, as well as when you're in the parking lots, frankly, to see across, will aid in not necessarily traffic circulation as we typically refer to it with a traffic study and everything, but just ease people into finding where they need to go. With respect to substantial detriment, I do not see any. The signs, it's a shopping center. There's a lot of signs. They're more internally facing, so it's not going to impact any traffic necessarily going down the roadway. It's not near a residential area. It's within a outdoor mall that basically a lot of businesses put a lot of signs up so they can be identified within the shopping center itself, particularly since there's not a pylon sign identifying uses within the shopping center along the outside. So therefore, I do think that the application satisfies the positive criteria for variance relief.
And it doesn't present any negative criteria.
It does not present any negative criteria. I do know that the sign, yes, is uniquely located along a mansard, but the property owner themselves have approved the location, and there's no ordinances stipulations regarding the location of the sign at the proposed location.
Anna, would you like to make a closing statement before or after I open it to the public?
Did questions?
I'm sorry, forgive me. Do you have any additional questions?
I don't have any questions for I have comments before.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask that the comments be made, so if I do have a closing statement, I can at least address them, so we know what the planner is thinking?
Mr. Peters?
Most of us have been to the mall. There are a number of cupolas at the building breaks throughout the project. I don't think utilizing the top portion of the cupola is the proliferation of signs, so to speak. To the extent that when this mall was designed in the 80s or opened in the 90s, they chose not to have either building numbers signed to the uses and just use logos and signs. That was a decision that was made long before any of us were on this board. So I don't think that what they're asking for, given that it's more than one tenant space, and it's at an area where there's a greater space or area where these cupolas are for signage. So the biggest concern we have when we don't know where people are going is that everyone wants to have the biggest sign, the closest to the entrance, and that's when we get into sign proliferation. Now, over the years, they've done different things down by the food court. They've restriped it, they've recurbed it. But in the areas that they're talking about, this particular one, and more to Jim's comment, could you get away with not using the sign on the cupola? The answer to that question is yes. But at the end of the day, I'm not sure they should be penalized because that particular tenant is in an area where there's additional space that could be utilized, which is why they're here for a variance. So from a planning perspective and/or a safety perspective, the concern is, does this amount to sign proliferation? And from my perspective, it does not. Thank you.
We're going to go ahead and open this to the public. Anyone wishing to come forward regarding the testimony you've heard this evening regarding this application, please go at this time. Seeing no one come forward, we're going to go ahead and close public session. Mr. Donner, your closing statement?
Yes, it's going to be very brief. I'd like to adopt the planner's comments as my closing argument, and I thank him for that. Just very briefly, two more sentences. I think Mr. Johnson has proposed an attractive sign array. I think he's identified the need for why there's more than one sign and the locations of these signs. We have permission from the property owner, who's the landlord, and I believe Ms. Allen did a superlative job in giving you the planning justification regarding both the positive criteria under C1 and the fact that there really are no negative criteria here. So I would respectfully ask the board that this application be approved, and I want to thank you all in advance for your time and patience with us. Thank you.
Up to us, for discussion. Comments?
I would say I usually, at this point, will summarize and put the conditions on the record, but in this case, it's a relatively straightforward application. You heard the testimony on the positive and negative criteria, and obviously, those are the things you need to consider. In this case, no conditions really have been discussed. Obviously, there was a statement made on the record that they understand that they would need to go ahead and get permits and inspections for the signs, but that is simply a requirement of the code and not a specific condition of the board.
Martins?
Yeah. Under the negative criteria, can I consider the impact to the other businesses around the area? Is that considered negative how's that work?
I think that if there had been testimony from any of the neighboring businesses that they would feel that there was a negative impact, then you could certainly consider that in terms of detriment. But you may not speculate as to the existence of a negative impact for which there has been no testimony.
Okay, that's clear. Thanks. That's the only question I have.
Sometimes when I go shopping, I just want to see where it is and just not drive around looking for it. So I like the fact that if I'm coming on the other side, it's right there because I can't see it on the other side. So I don't have to drive and then, oh, I passed it. Then now I got to make a loop. So I don't have a problem with the sign.
I would, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Dr.
I would say it aids the internal traffic in the parking area and it safety.
In the way the building sits back, I think the additional sign is important because when they showed us in that first view, I think it was Ulta One, if I'm not mistaken, you couldn't even see the wording Ulta Beauty. So I do think it aids in the direction and the flow of traffic. And there are other businesses that have more than one sign, and given that they, house two storefronts and they could have individual signs if they're individual businesses, I don't have a problem with it. So unless anybody else has anything else to say, I would make a
I
motion
just
to
want to
approve.
make a
Sorry,
comment
Mr.
first
Selecki, go right
before you do
ahead.
that. So my concern, the whole concept of visualization, obviously, from my perspective, I can see it because I was out there today and I didn't even see the fireworks sign for the store for the building, the tenant next door. So it's clear that that piece that pulls out causes that issue for the tenants. So, like I said, I asked a lot of questions, but they're just questions to make sure I get all the information correct. So do you want to make the motion or?
I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve with all the conditions that were discussed, that we would go ahead and approve the variance.
Second.
Second, roll call, please.
Mr. Martins?
Yes.
Ms. Rosal?
Yes.
Mr. Tremor?
Yes.
Ms. Cusano?
Yes.
Mr. Seleckia?
Yes.
Dr. Hofstein?
Yes.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes. Oh.
Is anyone here on the, well, it's called the
ZYSR?
Zer application?